After winning the SheBelieves Cup final, do you think the U.S. women's national team is ready for the Olympics? They won over Canada in a close match. Adriana Leon scored a goal in the last minutes of the game, and Alyssa Naeher saved the day during the penalty kicks. It was just like last month's Women's Gold Cup Semifinal. The atmosphere at the stadium was electric right from the start. The U.S. took control of the game, dominating possession and keeping most of the first 10 minutes in Canada's half. Even though the U.S. team pushed hard, Canada held strong and fought back with all they had, making it tough for the U.S. to score. The U.S. did everything they could, but the Canadian defenders refused to budge and kept their ground. Coffee didn't get to show off her moves much in defense, and she didn't have many opportunities to do what she's best at, going for the kill. That's because Canada was playing it safe to avoid losing the ball. In particular, Fleming and Awujo opted for one-touch and long passes to avoid any risky plays that could lead to a turnover. Canada worked hard to avoid situations where Sonnet and Coffee could step forward and make tackles to intercept midfielders. Smith didn't do much in the first half, which was kinda Canada's plan. On the other hand, Morgan couldn't really find a way to score. She was good with the ball and only gave it away twice, but she only created a few chances for others with her movements. The U.S. team came close to scoring in the 29th minute of the match. It all started with Dalkemper's cross, which Alex Morgan bounced to Jaden Shaw, and the 19-year-old made a fantastic move to pop the ball over a defender and then stretched to make a shot on goal, the first one in the whole game. But Sheridan, the Canadian keeper, did really well in coming out and smothering the attempt. It was like watching San Diego Wave FC practice. Canada unexpectedly scored the first goal. It all started with a long ball towards the right flank, leading Naeher to rush over the top of the penalty box. Ultimately, the ball bounced off Naeher and Ashley Lawrence, landing on Deanne Rose's feet. She then played it to Leon, who finished it off with an easy shot into an open net. Some people might say Dunn was in the wrong place for Leon's first goal, but it was clear that Dunn was instructed to play wide and high up on the left, so that Shaw could move toward the middle and take up the left half space. The team simply didn't put enough pressure on the ball. The backline and defensive midfield needed to be faster and more organized to cover the space. Unfortunately, a simple ball over the top caught the U.S. defense out, and nobody took charge. That made us all feel the absence of Germa, who wasn't fit for the game and could have handled this situation very well. Also, Naeher could have done better. She didn't come out with confidence, and even worse, she didn't move in a way that would have stopped the danger. Right before the end of the first half, Morgan had a chance to tie the game. She tried to take advantage of a mistake by the Canadian defense, but Buchanan was able to block the shot and send the U.S. into halftime, losing 1-0. Kilgore played it safe by adopting a 4-2-3-1 formation in the first half. Horan was placed as a number 10, with Sonnet and Coffee as holding midfielders. This resulted in a tactical stalemate, with not much happening at either end, except for a few individual errors that led Canada to take the lead. I mean, the U.S. team is so good at what they do that they should focus on their strengths instead of getting caught up like this. The first half didn't go well, but Kilgore knew how to fix it. She changed the formation to a 4-3-3 and brought in Swanson for Coffee. Horan played as number 8 and Shaw as number 10, which helped the team find better spaces to attack from the middle and down the left. This gave Smith more room to work her magic, and the U.S. team dominated most of the second half. Swanson tried scoring just 45 seconds after the game resumed, but Sheridan quickly blocked it. Swanson wasn't really on fire in this game. Still, she gave the Canadian defenders a hard time by creating some serious gaps and troubles. Just 5 minutes into the second half, Shaw's new position helped her set up the first U.S. goal with a sweet and soft pass to Smith. She managed to equalize the game with a left-footed shot from just outside the box. And the way she faked out her Portland Thorns teammate Fleming before taking the shot was great. The pass Tierna Davidson gave Jaden Shaw to initiate the play was lovely, and it was right on point. The timing and urgency were simply impeccable. That goal would have never happened if she had even slightly messed up. Rodman came in for Morgan and made an instant impact by assisting Smith's second goal. Just 18 minutes after scoring her first, the young and talented Sophia Smith shined again. This time, Trinity Rodman picked her out on the run, up the middle. Despite being under immense pressure from two defenders, Rodman kept her cool and found Smith open for a pass into the right side of the penalty area. And what a finish by Smith. She executed it with absolute class, sending the ball through Sheridan's legs to take the lead. This move should be on every pre-game video session for the US team leading up to the Olympics. Before Shaw even got the ball, Rodman knew the chance was coming, and she acted on it without thinking twice. It's cool to see Smith regularly score from the right wing, but this is precisely why she must be brought into a central forward position. If they keep starting her in that position, there's no doubt she's going to keep crushing it. Smith's talent was on full display once again in this game, proving that she is an exceptional player. The US team was doing great in the game, but in the 75th minute, Kilgore decided to sub Shaw with Corbin Albert, and the team switched to a defensive shape. I get it, it looked good on paper, but it seemed like they were more into securing their 2-1 lead than going for more goals. Canada got lucky in the last few minutes when Leon was awarded a penalty kick after a weak foul inside the US box. We believe that Dunn did not do anything wrong and she was not outplayed. It was an incorrect call by the referee, and the veteran made no mistake. Leon scored a decisive goal from the penalty spot to tie the game and force it into a penalty shootout. It was like a replay of last month's W Gold Cup water-soaked semis in San Diego. In the penalty shootout, Canada got a good start as Leon and Jessie Fleming scored the first two shots, while Trinity Rodman missed the first for the US. Sophia Smith made it up for the States by beating Sheridan for the third time in the match. Alyssa Naeher tied things up in round 3 before making a save against Jade Rose and also stopped Chloe Lacasse's shot in round 4. Horan scored to give the Americans their first lead in the shootout. In round 5, Julia Grosso scored and Emily Sinnett missed. Ashley Lawrence and Abby Dalkemper scored in round 6, tying things up at 4. Eveline Vyans failed to score in round 7 of the shootout, but Emily Fox made no mistake, winning the match for the United States. Did you know that Alyssa Naeher is the only goalkeeper in the US women national team history to save 3 penalties in a shootout? And she has now done it twice. Whenever the US and Canada end up in PKs, Naeher goes into God mode. Kilgore coached her final game as the team's interim boss, and she signed off with a masterful halftime adjustment that changed the game. But ultimately, the US is too talented to end up in a first half like this one. Although Kilgore adjusted well, it would be better if things were done right from the beginning. For us, plenty of questions are still in the air and decisions to make. What's your opinion about the US team's performance in this game? And more importantly, what changes would you make for the Olympics? Let us know in the comments.